Hello everyone. I am Noodle or Pasta or Udon, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I realized I did not finish my usual little bit, but we're escaping that today. We only have those three noodle options. You may not refer to me as any others today. It is limited.
Oh, sad Spaghetti.
And yes, hello everyone. I get to debut a delightful new character for the first time in voiced FPS. Wish me luck with figuring out his voice, and I am joined by the wonderful, the creative, the very fun to play games with.
Wait. Hi, I'm Blaze. Wait. I'm glad to join my wonderful, fantastic, creative friend Noodle today. And I've had a character not debuting this time. She's been in a few before, Spica.
Mhm.
And
We're good. We're great.
yeah.
And speaking of
Mhm.
these two have actually
Mhm.
met a few times before,
Uh-huh.
in text FPS, which the
Mhm.
first one, was fine. It's cool. They got
It
into a
ended
little bit
okay.
of a scrap and
Mhm.
made a deal.
Yeah.
And that deal, unknown to Spica at the time, turned out to be not too difficult to fulfill. On
Yep.
the end of um one, he's totally going by this is definitely his real name. Not
Mhm.
hiding
Mhm.
his actual name at all. No, 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 no.
No, no.
One Ceph. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because I haven't looked that up and I am not feeling like making mistakes today. Let's go, boys. Uh
Yippee!
Yay!
We're doing it live.
Yeah, no, it's Ceph. Definitely Ceph, not Azul. No, not Azul. But yeah, but Spica wanted to see a deep sea fish.
Mhm.
Yeah, she wanted to see a barrel eye fish, which
Yeah.
are not typically easy to get a hold of, and unless you happen to be a merman with magic
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
can let you create a bubble of contained pressure and keep that fish safe. Whoops.
Yeah. Whoops. She thought it was gonna be a
Underestimated you.
challenge, but
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But time has passed. They had another
Mhm.
meeting that
Mhm.
happened after events. We encourage you to go and listen to the Mike Standee interview series. Shout out to Jade, our beloved friend Jade.
Oh, yep, yep,
Um,
yep, 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 yep.
mhm.
Yay.
Yeah, things happened. They met up, and surprisingly, the next time they met up, it went much better. Speaker
Mhm.
was a little early on the deal. It's fine. They had a few more days after that. It's fine. They neither of them were in good shape, but they're good. Lemonade, it fixes things. Lemonade is good. We
Yeah,
love
lemonade
lemonade.
is good, especially when you can, make it look magical and change colors. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's fun. And it didn't even need magic to do so. Haha, finger guns.
Exactly. Yay.
Which
It
brings
does.
us to today.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna need Spica to roll survival. Because the
Oh,
last time she
survival.
got here, she had the fun of a smash cut and
Mhm.
plot helping her along.
Yep.
This time the plot's not really coming into play, so she has had
Nah.
to get to
Mhm.
Monsoon Lagoon the way most people do, which is
Yep.
via teleportation station.
Yep. 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 And
But
she's planning
yeah,
on that. She's not sure how it's gonna
mhm,
work, but she's just like, "Yep, I'm gonna take
yeah,
the quote unquote long way this time."
yeah.
11.
And 11, that's all right. Roll me. We'll see if this can influence it a little bit. Roll me perception as well.
Persepi. Let's see. There's your Persepi.
Mm.
Oh, well, that's a nat 20 apparently.
Excellent. Um, this both helps and hinders her. It explains
Mhm.
why it's high, the survival's high. So she's able to make sense of the streets and everything But it's not perfect and probably winds up a little meandering because
Oh yeah.
Monsoon Lagoon's town is a little bit odd.
Hmm.
Sure, there's buildings in different locations, and yeah, you can tell this probably used to be like it's a very tropical kind of spot. You could definitely see more than a few beach episodes happening here.
Hmm.
Um, but about that, uh, there's a lot of different shipwrecks that look like they've crashed into buildings. And a lot of different buildings patched up with different pieces of ships and parts that look like they should have come from some nautical structure.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like seaweed has been dried out and actually managed to be strung into ropes and used to decorate that way.
Oh.
And like structures of what would have been dead coral are used as decoration. It's a little off. You don't really see a lot of that,
No, no
especially
wonder she's
because,
distracted.
yeah, because it doesn't seem intentional for most of that. With the Nat 20,
Oh.
it's able to look like it, like they did a really good job to try and make it look like it should be that way. But
Mm-hmm.
with the Nat 20, she can see, yeah, those boats should not be crashed into those buildings. And off in the distance, there is like a giant tanker ship on top of a mountain.
Oh
That
god.
shouldn't be there. And she sees the geyser go off through it, and yeah, no, that's not supposed to be there, but it's there now.
Yeah.
Uh, but eventually she is able to find her way towards something that seems a little more familiar. A little easy to find your way down to the lagoon itself, and along the shores there is a very fancy looking lounge that looks like the gaping maw of a giant whale.
Ha
And
ha ha ha.
also easy to spot nearby is a certain very well dressed rich nerd.
Nerd spotted.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be standing outside with
Mm-hmm.
something nearby that he's focused on, but that's a little harder to see because he is not facing towards you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you doing?
Hmm. Well, let's see. Well, she's not sneaking.
um, yeah, no. Delightful.
No.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
And that does not pass his passive perception uh
No.
at all. Sorry.
Nah, it's okay.
Hmm.
Which he'll still probably do regardless of whether or not he hears. Well, he is going to. But, from her perspective, whether or not he hears her coming.
Hmm.
It's just kind of casually walk over, like, not gonna call out or anything. It just kind of plucks the hat from atop his head and puts it atop her head.
Hmm. All right. I need you to roll me a sleight of hand.
Can do. That's also not that high, but can do.
I'm gonna have him roll something else. Ah, that's right. That's not great.
Ah,
Well, don't worry because this is not a great stat for him. But
the
apparently
dice
having
still like him. The dice
yeah,
still like him.
evidently they do, and also he does have the advantage of knowing you're coming. So
Yeah.
Spica, you try and reach out and, steal this guy's hat. Uh,
Mhm.
however, it is very swiftly yoinked out of your reach,
Mhm.
um, as he turns and glares at you, and you are able to see he is focused on a bubble of water that he has in his other hand. And
Mhm.
there's something inside swimming around. Uh, as Ceph turns, and I need to gonna take a shot in the dark at his voice. Let's see what comes out. Oh boy.
Hell yeah.
It's just. Do you really not know how to say hello or something like that? Is that just. Did I miss something there?
No, but I think I missed your hat.
Mm-hmm. It's my hat, not your hat. That's not part of
And
our deal.
hmm.
Mhm. If you would like to have the hat, we can make another deal.
Come on, Calamari. How many of these do you want to stack?
Hmm. So long as they're in my favor, I'm open to, well, most anything.
Mm-hmm. So long as you can complete them anyway. But speaking of,
Hmm. Uh, yeah. Looking down, Spica is able to see in a decently sized sphere of water, probably
mm-hmm.
about 1 foot by 1 foot. Not too big, but definitely it's enough for a fish that we found out surprisingly these fish do not get very big.
Yeah, that's the thing. These fish are small.
Yeah, you would think, oh yeah, deep sea fish. Deep sea fish probably are big. No, barrel eye fish only get to about 6 inches.
At most.
Mm-hmm. And this fish is probably closer to like 4.5 inches. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
biggest specimen
Mm-hmm.
for a fish, but it is not as big as you think it'd be.
Yeah, I thought it was good. These things were gonna be. No, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's just a little guy. Just a little guy.
Just a little
Um,
guy.
and it is swimming around, seems to be existing quite happily. Yeah, he's just doing fish things. Just
Mm-hmm.
fish things.
Fish things.
Yeah, and Seth moves so that it is easier to see and
Mm-hmm.
sort of presents it, but definitely is not like holding it out for her to take because he does
Yeah.
need to maintain the bubble of water.
Mm-hmm.
This is magic and it is easy to see there is magic swirling around it
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
he clears his throat. So, less than an hour, but more than, what was it, 5, 10 minutes or something? I have your fish.
It's so tiny. I didn't
Mhm.
know they were so small.
Well, yes, not everything in the deep seas are supposed to be big.
How am
The
supposed to know that? How? I don't live there. I don't even go there.
hmm.
I wanted to see the fish.
Oh, I had no idea that you couldn't have possibly gone to the deep seas. What a surprise! I couldn't have expected that at all. Wow.
I couldn't even have expected you to go there either.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be a challenge, yet you were probably at home there.
Eh, should have thought of that before making the deal, now shouldn't you?
Not really, considering.
He just kind of rolls his eyes and clicks his tongue.
She just grins behind her mask as if there's something she knows but he doesn't.
Mhm. So you have the fish, you can see it, you can observe it. Try not to take too long. I do need to get back to business.
Ah, yes, business, business, money, money, and can I stick my hand in there?
Oh, I I wouldn't recommend it, but
Why?
you can certainly try.
She shoves her hand in there.
I need you to make a con save.
That's fair. There we go. I mean, I knew this was coming.
Mhm.
14.
10. All right. Roll me a d4.
D4.
Yep. 3.
3.
Take 3 points of cold damage. As Spica, you stick your hand into this water and it is frigid. It is much colder than you think it should be. Because, it's on the surface. Water's not usually that cold. No, this is cold, and also you find trying to press your hand forward is much harder than you think it should be, because it seems like this water is very dense, very pressurized.
Mm-hmm. Does Ceph want to roll a Percepi?
Sure!
Or an
What
insight, I guess.
what are your stats? They're the same. So let's go.
Convenience!
That's a 14, and we will roll with insight because he is trying to get a read on her. He knows exactly what's going on in that sphere.
Fair. With a 14, he at least gets that she's not very bothered by it.
Hmm.
Like there's
Interesting.
there's definitely still like this very brief shiver the adjustment to like the cold,
Hmm.
but there's no like flinch or like peck that's really cold or something. Like at
Hmm.
most her eyes widen just a little bit and she just presses her hand forward to carefully towards the fish. Because she's not going to just, grab it. It's almost like she's just
Yeah.
offering her fingers forward. And she's also not wearing the same gloves as she was before. She's wearing mostly fingerless gloves this time.
Hmm.
But the fabric does come up to the first knuckle on the finger.
Yeah. Which definitely did not help against the cold. Uh.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Um. There is a moment where he is watching this, seeing that, like, hmm. All right. Uh. And decides, okay. In his head, he's like, all right, okay, fine. I guess she's going to stick through with that. Okay. Tunes. Sure. He's yeah, Tunes sure has been a common thought for him. But he does kind of quietly say something that I definitely don't think she can understand, because I'm pretty sure Spica does not speak Aquan.
um, is that Triton speak or?
Yep, this is essentially emissary of the seas. You can communicate simple ideas to any beast, plant, elemental, or monstrosity with a swimming speed. They can understand your words, but you cannot understand them in return. And Aquan is a sort of a dialect of Primordial as well.
In that case, she might understand him
Oh.
because she has primordial.
Hmm. Then roll me an intelligence check.
Okie dokie. Where's your intelligence? There's your intelligence.
Mhm. 'Cause it's like I've likened it before to trying to
God damn
understand.
it!
Ah, no.
I guess that makes sense, unfortunately.
It's a different dialect from what she's used to. She can
Yeah.
definitely, like, she speaks Primordial. She knows that it
Mhm.
is Primordial.
Mhm.
But it's different. It's weird. It doesn't,
Yeah.
like, she, like, you can tell, like, different dialects of, like, Italian. There's certain words that mean one thing in, like, one part of Italy, and it means something completely different in the other.
Mhm.
It's like,
Mhm.
this sentence structure does not make sense. Why are these words here? Why is that? Hmm. But he's not, she can tell also, he's not talking to her, he is talking to the fish.
Mhm.
And the fish, which had swam away initially because what the hell, new thing? What is new thing in water? Hello, what this? Um,
Mhm.
seems to settle down and does curiously swim over and seem to be inspecting the hand in
Mhm.
its bubble.
Mhm. She just like kind of glances up at him a little and looks back to the fish. And then she's just gonna cast Speak with Animals.
All right.
It's just
She has cast that. There is a fish.
yeah, she's just like, "Hey, little guy, it's okay." Just basically just like reassuring the fish.
Uh, Blaze, my good friend. I'm
Uh-huh.
not doing a voice for a fish.
No, I don't expect you to do a voice for a fish. That's why I didn't. Whatever. You're good. No, trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna stop you if you wanted to, but like, also was not expecting. Don't worry. You don't have to do a voice for the fish. The fish can just vibe and be reassured.
Yeah. Yeah. Fish vibing. This fish is
Mhm.
chill. Fish has
Yeah,
been reassured not just once, but twice. Cool. There is
exactly.
communication established. This fish has a safety net.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, she's. Wait.
it
Oh wait,
definitely
he's.
does, like, tilt. It's a funny, weird little tilt because,
Uh-huh.
barrel-eye fish see out through the top of their skull. Which
Yeah.
they're kind of weird. If you look it up, if somebody has issues with weird biology, it's a deep sea creature.
Mhm.
Google at your own peril.
Uh-huh.
But it does kind of have to tilt itself as well. This fish is a toon fish. It's not like a fully real kind fish.
Mhm.
So the angle at which it has to tilt itself to examine Spica's hand is
Mhm.
very cartoonish and silly.
Yeah, she just starts chuckling. She looks at it and just like wiggles her fingers a bit if the fish, like, just exploring, swimming
Mhm.
between fingers. She's like, ha, 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 this is so cool. This is so cool. It's so cold.
Take
It's
your
warming.
hand out of it.
Why? This is the best.
Because if you're not keeps
What, you think I can't handle a little cold? It's not even
you are
that bad.
given the flattest look possible, but very obviously a yes. Uh like he can tell, he can see through the water. He's like, that doesn't quite look right. There's definitely some damage that was taken from the frigid
Mhm.
cold. Mhm.
Mhm. Ah, you know what? Maybe you're right. I think my fingertips are turning blue.
Really? I had no idea. Not at all.
She just grins because her skin's just blue already. She just
Mhm.
is that way.
Can you just take your hand out of the water before I have to charge you for the sake of healing that?
Wait, well, that's very presumptuous of you. What makes you think I'm gonna pay you to heal me?
Because you're standing here, letting yourself get
And
frostbite.
and
He Speaker, just roll me insight.
oh, it's not one of her good ones, but oh,
Mhm.
let's see if the dice continue to dislike her.
Mhm.
That's a 12.
Yeah, let's see. I think his is just straight D20, isn't it? Yep, just a straight D20. Thank you. That's a 1. To no
Oh,
one's surprise, that was a deception roll. He is flabbergasted and so tired of your antics. Um, you are getting to be very familiar with this look from this guy, this nerd.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, he's the most unimpressed real kind you have ever seen a real kind look unimpressed. He is tired. He is here bound only by duty of fulfilling his deal, but you can see just that, like, twitch of an eye that is the kind of where he is weighing his options of, like, does he really want to continue? Is it really worth the deal? Oh, he has something at stake here, but Yes. Yeah.
Come on, Calamari. You can't be expect me to not be a little bit surprised that you'd even care to waste a healing spell on someone.
That was the point of being compensated for it. I'm certain you, even though things are, I can doubt. I can doubt, but exchanging goods, services, and that's basic. That's very basic. That's really basic.
Mhm. Mhm.
Please tell me you understand that concept, or this is going to be a long conversation.
As much as I'd like to annoy you to all hells and back, I do understand. My main thing was my trusting you for it and not just, simply going to a place and a person called a doctor, somewhere I could find first aid, or maybe even potentially having healing magic myself. Like, what? Are you suddenly the only healer within a certain mile radius, or?
Nope, that's the wrong channel. That is the wrong channel.
No, it'll come back.
There we go. Yeah, that's still below a 12. You see him consider it. You see him consider saying it. But there is a very telling, like, way his shoulders slump a little bit. And yeah, from, again, earlier Nat 20 of looking around Monsoon Lagoon,
Mhm.
there's a clinic. There is a public clinic that is very easy to find. Like, there were directions towards it, and it was right by the teleportation station.
Ooh,
It's
conveniently placed.
Yeah, it's convenient to get to.
Yeah.
He knows. He considered, but no, he's not gonna, and so he keeps his mouth shut. It in itself is fairly telling.
Mhm. It's like, you don't have to be upset. I could just go elsewhere. It's fine. Oh. She probably will
Right.
eventually take her hand out, but she probably leaves it in there far longer than he'd expect her to.
Mhm,
And he does. I won't make him roll for it, but
mhm.
I mean, well, he could roll for. I guess he could roll Persepi for more if he wants, but it's just like she
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be doing it out of spite to him for telling her to take her hand out.
Mhm. I'm gonna roll something else. You don't have as much proficiency with that. Oh, that's a straight 10. Uh,
I, don't, I guess Dice person doesn't like either of us today.
no, that's fine. It's
Yeah,
nice for him needing to perceive things, but this
yeah.
is also fitting because he doesn't have medicine proficiency.
Makes
But
sense.
at the same time, she is technically one of his clients, and he
Mm-hmm.
would like to not have a client lose a hand, because that's bad for business. Mika, that's bad for business.
The
Uh,
concern suddenly makes sense.
yeah, and that just looks bad on him.
Mm-hmm.
That does. It doesn't look good on him. So he is
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep an eye on that and like don't like it, but he's paying close enough attention that if she started to look like something was getting worse, he would
Mm-hmm.
probably be able to yoink the bubble away. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, is like he doesn't know enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fair, yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah, she's definitely hesitant to take her hand out, and it's not out of spite. It's like she's just looking at this fish like this is
mhm.
the greatest thing ever. Like, even though it was to be like, some spectacular challenge or test, she is just like, this is worth it. She doesn't care that this was easy for him. This was just like, look at this fish.
Yeah,
It's fish.
it's just a little guy. It's just a
Yeah.
little guy swimming around and being
Oh,
curious. The little
Yeah.
guy has received enrichment. Not only
Yeah.
this, but this fish has not seen the surface ever. This is the best day for this fish ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She probably chats a bit more with the fish, which I
Mm-hmm.
guess considering it's only a one-way thing, he doesn't understand her fishy words.
Mm-hmm. Mm, does that how does speak with animals work again? Because I
I
think you should be able to like have a conversation back and forth. I know
I mean,
the
she can with the animal understands her, but I've had people like not understand her when she does it, and then other people have understood it. So
post the exact wording into the rule zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah, yeah,
make
yeah. Let me grab
executive
it.
decision.
Hell yeah,
Temporarily puts my DM's cap on.
hell yeah. Here we go.
Oh yeah. No, Ceph obviously does not understand this. This is different. This is a magical effect.
Yeah,
Um even can verbally communicate with Beast Federation, limited by their intelligence at minimum, give you information, whatever they can perceive, you have perceived. Yeah, it's you can verbally communicate with them. You have a conversation back and forth. It's fine. Yeah, because they can
okay.
give you information,
Mhm.
so they can at least talk back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's easy to rule that Spica is able to talk back and forth with the fish.
Yay. But whether or not Seth can understand?
Oh, he can't. This
Okay.
is only within the confines of the spell. He is not an animal.
Yeah.
He is not.
Nope.
He does not understand this conversation. This is a magical effect. This is different.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, she just because I mean she's not looking for any information, obviously, but I
Mhm,
mean she is, but it's just like just the typical like I know this fish isn't exactly gonna give me, deep literature analysis or something, but how often do you get to talk to a fish and hear, any kind of opinions about anything?
mhm, Roll me just a charisma check for fun and flavor.
Okay. Charisma check.
Yep, just straight charisma.
Okay. Ah,
19.
19!
Very good. Yeah, you are able to have just a full back and forth conversation with this fish who is just as excited to be talking to you as you are to it. Because,
Yeah!
fish doesn't get to talk to people from the surface very often, if at all. Pretty much
Yeah!
never.
Yeah!
So this is just as exciting. It is happy
Yes!
to share with you and asks questions of you like, what's it like on the surface? What is that big thing in the sky that glows? What is that? It doesn't know. How do you see when you're looking forward? It isn't used to that. It has to tilt. What is this? Why is this? Why are all of these buildings built like this? It's seen structures down at the bottom of the ocean, but not like this. And just on and on and on. This is the most curious fish.
Mhm, mhm. Oh, it's so much back and forth, and she's just like
Mhm.
explaining everything best she can to this little fish, and Seth is just standing there.
He is there. You can figure there's a reason why he picked the spot he's standing because he is in the shade
Ah.
and is able to lean back and sort of get comfortable while holding this bubble still.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and he's pulled out. See just how subtle you can be about that. I don't think he has a good thing with this because his dex is shit. Yep. And that is a dex roll. Hello? Okay. Oh, I love when the channel gets to be weird. That is a 10. It's not like he's drawing attention to it,
Mhm,
but she can see he has pulled out some sort of like small notebook that he is
mhm.
thumbing through and like going over the pages of. Um, so he's keeping himself busy while you are doing this, and you can occasionally see he does like check a watch that's on his wrist.
Mhm.
and is definitely paying attention to the time as well.
Mm,
Oh, he
yeah.
didn't forget. He is keeping this
Oh
deal
no.
to the letter.
Mm-hmm. Slight internal awe at that because it's like she knows and she definitely gets it and she definitely doesn't want this cool little fish to be in danger and it's just like there's a time limit. And she also gets a thought. It's like she decides to like asks the fish just like what do you eat
Mm-hmm.
and whatever it is I'm just gonna assume she doesn't have it on hand and so she just eventually like glances up at Ceph and is just like,
What
hey,
do they eat?
Calamari, what have you been feeding this guy?
I need to check something really quick. What
How?
do they eat? I don't
Yeah,
know, but now I'm curious. Welcome to a brief intermission in the FPS where we go and Google things. What the hell does this fish eat?
zooplankton,
Huh.
apparently.
Well, that, you know, sure. That makes sense. That does in
Yeah,
fact make sense. They eat plankton. Um,
yeah.
how much are you paying attention? Actually, because yeah, it's easy to see. There's a lot of numbers on the pages that he is looking at.
Mhm.
Anything? No, that's a no. Uh, so he's not fully paying attention, but he hears the question. And it's that
Mhm.
sort of like you're half paying attention and you're not really like focusing on what you're talking about because your focus is
Mhm.
elsewhere.
Mhm.
Um so Spica gets basically the Wikipedia article in full just nerd. It's like have you been feeding him? What have you been doing? Just whoa, gets the full report on it. Cuz he might primarily be a druid, but he is also a wizard. He
Mhm.
is not immune to the wizard ramble. As he is going over the books for his business, and checking out expenses, while waiting for this. Um, but yeah, she just gets the full like information on this fish.
Mhm.
Roll me insight as well, just
Okay.
because he got this exact result.
Where did your insight go? There it is. Oh, 15.
15? Yeah. Um, yeah, she already knows he's kind of a nerd. Already could assume it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this is definitely like research that was done that it's sort of like the no filter. This is exactly what was going through his head when it comes to this fish. And
Mhm.
this dude, yeah, he went to school. He was at that school that was mentioned in the
Mhm.
interview. Um,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, you can probably guess. Not only is he a nerd, he's like the straight A kind of nerd. This is the guy who would always like be raising his hand in class kind of nerd. He knows
Mhm.
things. On this topic at least, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she stands there as he goes on, and
Mhm.
she just like stands there and she's looking at him, briefly glances at the fish, looks back at him,
Mhm.
and the second it's clear he's done, that he's reached the end,
Mhm.
she's using Mage Hand to like smush his hat over his face.
Oh my god. Yeah, cuz he was not paying enough attention. And that is a 15. Yeah. No, he is not quick enough to stop it but we'll see. We'll see just how much does he react. He was lost in the sauce. Nat 20!
Oh
Bang!
shit.
Incorrect. He was lost in the sauce. He gets disadvantage on that. I don't believe that. That is an 11.
There we
Nope.
go.
He doesn't startle terribly. We'll say the first roll was for the sake of, like, does he maintain concentration? Sure. Yes, concentration on the exacting aspects of multiple castings of this cantrip to keep certain effects going for the period of time. Yes, nat 20. Care for the fish? Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Care for his own image? Slightly above average. He does startle. But he's doesn't drop anything. He's good with that and like snaps the notebook shut very quickly as he realizes, oh, she's paying attention to him again, not just the fish.
Yep.
And like sets it into like a pocket in his jacket vest thing somewhere. He's dressed fancy. It's not exactly what we have in images. It's just fancy. He looks rich.
Yeah.
And looks back at her as he fixes his hat. Just, what is it with you and my hat?
Great question. Excellent question. I have a better question for you. More of a
Yes.
statement, actually. He's hungry.
Okay.
That's why I asked about the food. Do you have any?
I don't exactly have plankton on hand. No.
It,
That's why this was specifically timed so that I could release him back within exacting periods of time so that he would be able to go and feed.
really? You're the.
I Contrary to what you might think of me, I do put an exacting amount of detail into my deals.
So I
For
should have asked for you to bring him snacks too? Or.
you didn't exactly mention snacks, and when I spoke with the fish, it understood.
So. Potential next time, remember me telling you to bring snacks because you won't bring them otherwise. Because this isn't for me, this is for the fish.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. It will have to be accounted for.
Uh, don't worry. Not sure if I'll be asking you for another fish anyway. Seems to be easy enough for you.
Hmm. Are you really sure this was entertaining, at the very least, to get a hold of the fish? You're sure it's... There are more species down there that typically aren't seen. I'm certain I would be open to a deal for it with, of course, appropriate payment.
Don't worry, I'm not expecting you to do anything for free.
There is... He looks like he's gonna say something, but thinks better of it. And just like, nope.
She knows. She's not going to expect him to do
She
things
got
for free.
she got one free thing.
Yeah.
One.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
One
She
and
knows
done.
that. Yeah, exactly. That's more of what she's meaning. She knows not to
Mhm.
expect that again kind of thing.
Yeah. It's
Like the drink was a one-time thing. She
yeah.
knows that, you know.
He looks suspicious enough to but picks up on it quickly and
Mhm.
settles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's more she's not going to expect him to keep giving freebies.
Mm-hmm. Like she can definitely see the hints there and then of expert businessman, and
Mhm.
the Calamari, who she knows who he's gotten used to dealing with her, and is
Mhm.
not quite as much putting on as a show that you could probably expect he would for like customers. This is the
Mhm.
difference between like a regular and a customer.
uh, Probably hums a moment though and adds like, well, the downside of course is you'd have to deal with me again.
As interesting as your company is, you're hardly the worst customer I've dealt with.
Now I'm curious. But I
Ugh,
doubt I have enough to pay for the information.
yeah, right. There's a, again just a clearing of the throat and like he doesn't want to talk about that.
Mhm.
I'm not even rolling deception. There is no way he hides. There is a cringe at the thought of his worst customer, the worst person he's ever
Mhm.
made to deal with. He is like, "Ugh, that did not go well. That really did not go
Mhm.
well."
Mhm.
Uh, mhm.
Hmm. He can roll insight if he likes.
Sure. Hey, that's right. This is +6, right? Yes, he's good at this. Uh, no, he's not. Hmm. You know, I know how to flavor
No.
this.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, he is definitely it's the cringe of thinking of different deals in the past,
Mhm.
and, uh, there is a not so subtle, kind of swipe along his jaw of
Mhm.
remembering, a certain unsatisfied customer who punched him in the face upon seeing him again. Um,
Ah.
Shout out to you, audience. Yeah, he would, rather not have more folks who would to punch him. That's he's already got one to worry about. No more, please.
Oh, it's fair.
Just that little like, oh, cringe moment
Mhm.
and not being able to fully read the other person as he's
Yeah.
like going over things in his head. They're just like, what deals? What can I classify here and here? Do I? Nope. That was fine. That was fine. That was fine. That was fine. No, you're banned from the establishment. No, not you. Thinks back to an incident where he was trying to do some research into competition, and then there was a tiger that decided to just upend an entire tray of pastries on him. That was bad. That was not fun for him. But sure, yeah. Okay. This is definitely not the worst nonsense he has faced in Inkwell. But I think with that settled, he does. There's a moment.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was gone for a minute there.
Ah,
I only
where?
just got back. You were in mid
Uh oh.
rant about deals and stuff, but I have to be right back for a second because
Ah.
I need to see if I just lost power or not.
Uh oh.
So
Okay.
1 second, I gotta be right back.
Yeah. Well, brief hiatus. Welcome to the intermission gallery. Hello, everyone. Uh, Hopefully that's good. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure we're wrapping up here too. Yay? Oh dear. But yes, hello. During this intermission, I would like to give a shout out to our gallery. Hello. You guys are wonderful. It's nice to see you. Also, secondary shout out to the wonderful Oatmeal who is helping us backup record this. Thank you so much. So yes, hello everyone. This is so normal. It's fine. Aw, heck yeah, kitty art in the gallery. Not even art. That is just a picture of a kitty cat. We have been graced with kitty on this day. Have a fish, we have kitty, we have good things. Yes, of course I would love more pictures of cats. This is the internet, my friend. It is made for pictures of cats. Yeah! Aw, look at him. He's a cutie. No. Camera shy. Does not wish to perceive camera. Aw. Also, goodness knows the downside of character voices. It's surprisingly hard to not switch into one of the other voices. Oh god. Send help. You're good. We're on break. We're on a break. Rude. Awful. Terrible. I retract the thing I was gonna send before, shaking my entire head. Tisk tisk. It's fine, it can wait. This is delightful. This is wonderful. We have many deals. We just have a little guy. We just have a little fish. The fish is truly the star of this FPS. He's just a little guy. He's just hanging out. Imagine living at the bottom of the ocean. There is no such thing. There's no light down there. It's really hard to find any light down there that isn't just bioluminescence that's gonna lead to you getting munched on. And suddenly you are in a safe bubble of your environment, but also it's like a lot brighter here, even if it is carefully controlled. And there's this big thing near up. You've had to discover what up is, what down is. It's very, very interesting. And there's this big thing in what they called the sky. You don't know what that thing is, but it's big. And it's
Okay, I
shiny.
am back.
Welcome back. Is everything all good?
Thank you. I am currently without power, but I have a
Oh
hotspot on my
dear.
phone. Yeah.
Well, on the upside, I think we are at a good point if we want to wrap that up.
Oh.
Yeah. Fish has been perceived. Deal has
eh,
been completed. If we would like to wrap up conveniently, this is a good spot. Save yourself in the power.
well, I actually have a. Thankfully, it's because it's very early on. Everything's charged, so
Oh, good.
I'm actually good to keep going and everything. I mean, that's that we have to, but just that I have. Thankfully,
Yeah.
everything's fully charged. So
Well, that's good.
yeah. But
But
yeah, because of one thing though, because the fish has been perceived and everything and is being
mhm,
enjoyed, but because he was trying to think backpedal to
it was
the
a
like worst
failed
customer and whatnot.
insight roll. Mhm.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was a
failed inside
failed
roll. That's
insight
right.
roll. Yep.
Because she's still because she knows very much that he is still wanting things and is trying to offer other
Mhm.
things and
Oh,
whatnot,
yeah.
but
No, she is well aware he has specific goals. Very expensive goals, but goals
yeah,
nonetheless.
exactly, exactly. And she's just thinking because it's like, yes, the fish is very cool and everything, but also, he very much did say before that, his powers and wish granting abilities aren't what they used to be.
Mhm.
So she's just kind of wondering, like, because there is, of course, stuff she wants. There's stuff anybody and everybody wants. Everybody has their wishes.
Hmm.
But, seeing a really cool fish wasn't exactly part of that. So she's just kind of wondering, do I want to work to see cool fish or.
Hmm.
So that's currently what she's thinking at the moment while she's like, looking at this fish and moving her hand around and just kind of like slowly, a little reluctantly, taking her hand out of the bubble.
I'll say if she's quiet for a little bit, I'll roll again and say that there's been just enough time that yeah, he's had enough time to
Okay.
get through flashback, the internal flashback of
Mhm.
bad
Mhm.
deals to start to
Mhm.
pick up on that.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, he
Mhm.
could definitely tell like she's much kind of almost like before when they first met. It's like she's thinking about it.
Mhm.
It's obviously somewhat against her better judgment, but like here she is, here he is, here's the fish and everything.
He's
And the fish
proven
is
he can uphold a deal.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yep, yep. But the whole point of it was that it was supposed to be a challenge and it wasn't. And she's not exactly fussed about that part, but that potentially means that, she's not sure how much he could, you know, do something more along the lines of what she wants to ask for at some point.
Hmm.
Because he did actually pick up before in the text FPS that this was just, a
A
test
test.
to
Yeah.
see if he could. Yeah.
Mhm. And he definitely gives her a little bit, just a bit longer to see if she'll bring it up before
Hmm.
um he adjusts his posture.
Hmm.
Definitely getting more into the deal maker sort of thing. Like
Hmm.
setting himself. I'm like, okay. So we can agree I've proven myself true to my word. I will fulfill. He doesn't mess that up. I did.
No.
Um I can fulfill what is requested of a deal. What you intended to be a challenge, yes, it turned out to be something particularly suited to myself, but it still stands. So, should there be something truly desire, I'd like to think I've proven myself capable.
Well, no denying that. I'd certainly say that much. Though, did you not also say yourself that it's not what it used to be?
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
1 second, 1 second.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Sorry.
It's
My
okay.
brother needed to talk to me for a second.
That's
Um,
fine.
but he, yeah, oof, called out on that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he does incline his head slightly, and yes, well, I'll admit it's not as easily accessible to be able to uh, just snap my fingers and fulfill anyone's heart's desire. I am no poor unfortunate soul in this. I can still fulfill most things.
Most.
Mm.
Understandably so.
Admittedly, if you ask me to bring back the dead, that's a little more difficult. And typically, against most principles, there are some laws and regulations in places that aren't especially fond of necromancy. That would have to be worked around and would incur an additional cost for fees and legality of it all.
Don't worry, if nothing else, I'm not requiring anybody come back from the dead.
Additionally, asking for someone to be killed, no. That is equally a complete mess of legality and stipulations and just not gonna do it. No, that's not part of it. No, I don't make deals to do that.
I don't need anybody killed either. Also, you talk of legalities and murder, you just don't get caught.
Ugh, you have to account for every possible angle. You can't leave a paper trail with anything. It's you have to account for possibilities because as much as you like to think that you won't get caught, there is always just the slightest chance, that infinitesimal amount that may yet come true.
I guess, but don't worry on that front either. I am life or death isn't exactly what I'm after, at least not in those senses. I have no want to kill somebody, and I have no wish to bring anybody. I don't even know if I know of anybody who's, well, okay, I know of somebody who's died, but technical details, they don't need to be brought back.
Okay.
Ugh, don't worry about it. It's the point being that I was trying to make anyway is I'm not looking to bring somebody back from the dead. I'm not looking for I'm not contracting a murder here. I'm She just
Okay.
kind of like gives this growling hiss and just
Mhm.
like looks away and is just like eventually looks at the fish. It's almost like, yes, look at the cool fish. Don't be
Okay.
annoyed. There's a cool
Mhm.
fish.
Well, growling doesn't exactly translate to anything helpful. I'm not going to parse out what that means, even though people have tried to make me in the past. Putting my foot down on that as well. You have to be clear and concise in your terms of the deal.
Well, I'd prefer to be anyway, though I'm not surprised people have done so before. And besides, I'd want to be clear and concise anyway, considering I'd want to make sure you did it right. Oh, this is so stupid.
I take some offense to that. I am upstanding in my fulfillment of contracts and deals.
Not what I meant, but sure, fine. Mm. She still like grumbles and mutters a bit. Going off of that same role, it's like she is clearly like he's more gotten close to like what she's probably wanting to ask for instead of just a challenge, and is just like,
Mhm.
do I say something? Do I not say something?
Hmm. Just
And
kind
how
of
are you? Hmm?
he does like raise an eyebrow at her while she's doing that because he has like walked away before and been like, well, if you don't want a deal, I'll just go away and do something else. But he's not
Mm-hmm.
doing that now, but she can definitely see that like, well, you're not gonna say anything kind of expression.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. Whoops, I almost put that in wrong.
Uh-oh.
That's okay, I caught myself. Okay.
Woo!
Oh. Ah, Spica.
What you doing, Spica?
She just kind of like squares her shoulders a little bit, looking down at the fish and kind of. She doesn't put her hand back in the water. She just kind of like rests it on the surface.
Hmm. And it's
I
definitely
kind
like it's not super easy to push in. There's a bit of a barrier there, so it's easy to like just put your hand on it.
of. How are you? What about confidentiality and stuff like that? As
I
far as.
never discuss the aspects of deals between clients, between outside individuals either. Again, with exceptions, depending on if it could get me into hot water.
Hmm. Oh, this is gonna sound dumb.
Believe me, I've probably heard worse.
Oh, I can't believe that's reassuring. All right.
You haven't heard half of what that flaming beast would ask for.
Oh, were I in a position to afford that story, I'm sure it would be an interesting one.
Hmm.
Well, all right. I can assure you this is likely not going to be what you think it is at first, but look, I assume your capitalism aside, you're aware of love and everything, right? And no, I'm not asking you to make someone fall in love with me. Let me just get rid of that immediately.
Okay. Again, that would have been far too easy. But
Yeah,
go on.
look, I don't want it. I want to get rid of it. I don't want to be in love. I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to feel love. I just want it gone.
Complete erasure of an emotion.
Shit, I'm getting a
That's what
phone
you're
call. One
asking
sec.
for?
Sorry,
Ah,
1 second. I'm getting a phone call. Fuck.
rest in pieces. Hello again, gallery. I hope we are enjoying. Hee hoo. What? What? Why are we shaking? No, no shaky. No, no. Hee hoo. Oh, what a delightful story we are weaving. uh, I love when the gallery's feral. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's fine. We're just yeah, just get rid of an emotion. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's chill. You don't need those. Just eat them. Throw them out the window. Gone. Don't need it. All is cool. All is good. Sometimes you just put that in a box. Welcome to AI. Most of the time we repress things. No, this time we're taking initiative. We're just throwing the whole thing out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm back. Okay, that was
Welcome
the.
back. Perfect
Thank
timing.
you. Yay! That was the power. So apparently there was a planned outage, but because my apartment is technically a house divided into apartments, only the front got informed of this and not the back.
Rude.
Yeah. So there's a
Well,
planned power outage, but I know about it now. So anyway, it's all good.
cool.
But yes, sorry, as you were saying.
Yeah. Shoot, I completely forgot. But yeah, going over the fact that she wanted complete erasure of an emotion. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty much he was just clarifying like that's what she
Oh
wanted.
yeah. Yeah, she gives like a very like slight firm nod of her head, probably eyes flickering left and right a little bit because it's just like we are technically standing outside. Nobody better be listening in on this, or they're going to be without ears in 2 seconds.
Roll perception.
All right, she probably should have done this first, but hey,
Mhm. It's out in the open now.
yep. Watch, this is how it ends up going bad. She ends up chasing after customers she thinks overheard. 19.
19. Yeah, there's nobody. Nobody in
Oh,
earshot.
good.
There's like people that are going about their days, but
Mm-hmm.
it's they're not paying any kind of attention to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, she doesn't have to chase down random passersby at the moment and terrorize them
Mhm.
for no reason.
Yeah. No, it's you could tell the lounge is set back from the other buildings a little bit.
Mhm.
Even then, it's not gonna be within earshot if you're having a conversation where you
Mhm.
guys are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so she's like, "Look, I get. Look, if you just say if you can't do it, all right? It wouldn't be the first time."
Mhm. Well, it's certainly the first time I've been asked to get rid of an emotion. Not usually it's the other way around. But based on well, if there's potions to make someone fall in love, surely there's some way to adjust the recipes, make someone fall out of love and get rid of it.
Good
I
enough.
can make it happen.
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
I have. mm, It would be costly,
Well, I'm not
but I have full
expecting it to be
confidence I
cheap.
can deliver what you want.
Do you want to roll insight?
Sure.
Eh,
17.
17? Okay. She looks surprised. Just the tiniest bit of suspicion, but part of it is also seems to be relief.
Mhm. Yeah. And I won't make her roll insight. Like,
Mhm.
it's probably pretty clear his deception is not good. But also, you can tell just from having met him and talked with him a few times, he's not the sort of person to lie when it comes to deals.
Mhm.
He seems to be
Mhm.
very upfront about it. Now, lying by
Mhm.
omission? Maybe, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that at all. He seems fully
Yeah.
confident in himself at this moment and that he could go
Mhm.
through with this and complete it.
Mhm. All right then. Well, I certainly know you need some expensive stuff, so I'm guessing some of those things would equal payment.
Uh, yes, but I have no guarantee that you can deliver on your. As it seems, the only thing I've asked of you in the past was to let me go unaccosted, which,
Oh, I could use so
truthfully,
much
truthfully,
chill.
let's be real. It's
Hmm.
not that hard to avoid starting a fight with someone. And again, I haven't asked much in the past. But also, this has yet to have been done. I can't simply put myself out, which will require research and testing different ways that it could work. Obviously, there's going to be a great deal of cost associated with just that alone, in regards to the access to the information and gathering that. There's a great deal of hours to be put forward to it.
She's giving him a slight look, but nodding. It's just like, yes, I get it. I already
Mhm.
said, need to pay for things.
Yeah, it's clear he's like going over this in his head as he's starting to outline the
Hmm.
terms of his deal. Um,
Hmm.
and she kind of needs his help. So that may
Yeah,
be
I
putting
mean,
on
this is obviously not something
just a
she
bit
can.
of a show. Not
Hmm.
really, but it's that kind of like, oh, I like being in the winning position sort of thing.
Hmm. She is giving him a slight look at this, like, I get it, but I can also try and ask for somebody else if you push it too
Mhm,
much, kind of thing.
mhm.
But
Yeah,
she is letting him have his bit of a ramble because he at
mhm.
least didn't make fun at her for her request.
Yeah, and he stops and snaps his fingers as he seems to get it. I am in need of a bodyguard, seeing as
Okay.
you're at least proficient in a fight, and your company is tolerable more than some other people. I will need a bodyguard while I handle everything that will be required to fulfill my end of this deal.
Hmm.
If you
Easy
don't think you're
enough.
up to the task, of course, I can figure out some other method of payment.
Oh, not up to the task. Well, it seems I gave you an easy one first off, and now you're offering me something easy in return. Seems pretty fair.
Very well. I'll need to draw this up, write exacting terms for it.
Hmm. I'm sure you have specifics as well. A bodyguard, simple enough. But what exactly do you want me to do about any offenders? Do you want them alive? Do you want them in
Yes.
pieces? All right.
Oh boy. That's a moment. That's two rolls that need to happen. Thank you. That's straight D20. Yeah. Yeah. He does turn a little green around the gills as she mentions having people in pieces. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and very swiftly just shakes his head like, no, no, we don't. No. Alive. Again,
All right.
having excessive force is bad for business. People don't want to show up, they'll get scared. That's I am still running a lounge here.
Yes, and
We
see, that's
feel
the surprising thing about it, she says, and she kind of motions to herself. Wouldn't think I'd exactly fit the cuff for that. At least I'm certainly not dressed for is there going to be a dress code?
he hums to himself for a minute looking like he's considering it. Hmm. Perhaps. There's if I have to attend certain events that require one, then yes. But I have the feeling that I wouldn't be able to get you to comply on the regular. It's hard enough to wrangle the old one into this.
You can tell she's grinning. She's wearing a mask, but you're you're sure she's amused.
And another roll, real quick. Don't worry about this. Yep, he is fine and normal. He is good. Don't worry. He's fine. He's good. He's good. He's chill.
Mhm.
He's fine. Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
there is a brief reminder of someone else who
Yeah.
he thought of. Um, but he has a way forward, and the sting has lessened as he has had time and now has a clear goal and way forward and options on hand.
Mhm.
He's good.
Mhm.
Um, but he settles and how long could I trouble you to stay at Monsoon Lagoon and join the local scenery while I handled returning this fish back to where it belongs? And afterwards, we can go over full details of this deal, this proper contract, in my office.
I have nowhere to be. I have no plot I'm currently in. I have more than enough time.
Excellent. Then feel free to indulge in whatever you so wish here. Just don't don't start anything too wild. Suppose I can't say don't start anything wild. I don't know how these shenanigans go.
Ah, come now, Calamari. You could come back and there could be a food fight in full swing. The whole town involved.
My point exactly.
Just imagine it. Pies everywhere. Tomatoes, too.
Uh, I have imagined it, and I am not thrilled by it. At least I will be showing up to the aftermath.
Hmm. Ah, that's the thing, though. All you gotta do is change scenes and it cleans up right quick.
Right. Gallery did point out something good, and I can't have him avoid that actually. Rest in peace the bit. Uh
Aww.
but he
It can be
does
put on until next time. But
he
yeah,
does stop,
still.
but goes pauses as he thinks like, ah, with this, seeing as there will be an actual contract drawn up, I will need your name for it.
Well, alright. She doesn't really hem haw about it, but she's just
Mhm.
like, it's more of a, oh yeah!
Mhm.
And she just
A
like chuckles for a
proper
minute. It's like,
name, not a nickname or some kind of alias that can allow you to get out of it. That doesn't work. I've dealt with the Fae before, and they have tried all sorts of tricks.
do I? She pauses. She's like, looks down at herself. It's like, I know fake come in all shapes and forms, but do I really look like, I mean,
I'm saying they're typically the ones that like to weasel their way into every single loophole and weakness of a contract. Mine are safeguarded against such things, so you will not be getting out of it.
well, no, that's fine. I want what I want from this. I don't want to wiggle out of it.
So, may I have your name?
You, you just mentioned
He
Faye, and
does
you
he
just.
does grin. You can tell he did that on purpose.
She's giving him such a look.
Worth a
Oh.
shot.
She rolls her eyes, but she's still amused. Like, still like she's just like she's gonna take the, like she gives it. She's gonna take it too. She's not gonna be whatever about it, but she is gonna
Mhm.
give him a look like, well, at least you could be funny too.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Do I get to at least have yours in return?
Full insight
Okay.
because he will. Uh, yeah. Spica, he introduces himself. He gives the name Ceph,
Mhm.
but you can tell he's lying. It's not a full lie,
Mhm.
but with him having recently mentioned aliases and such, you can tell that there's just a bit of a fumble with how he says it. It's very subtle,
Mhm.
but it's someone who is not used to saying this name.
Mhm. She raises an eyebrow a bit at that, and it's just like, so no aliases, no nicknames, or the like.
Ah, forgive me. I'm used to dealing with regular customers. Azul.
Hmm. She gives a nod of her head. Well,
Shortly after
uh,
our last discussion, you understand my need to go buy something less recognizable.
she visibly kind of like it's almost like a shuddering bristle. She like
Mhm,
her hair again does that kind of like little flicker of a movement as it kind of like fluffs up a little bit in anger.
mhm,
Not as much as it did the other day though, but it's just like, yeah, she gets it. She's still down for violence if this guy wants to randomly show up. She'll throw
mhm,
hands. She'll lose, but she'll throw hands.
mhm,
But then she like takes a breath, brings herself in this time as opposed to before. He doesn't need to do it this time.
mhm. There's no calm emotions needed. We're good.
Yep, 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 yep.
Mhm.
You may call me Spica.
Excellent. I look forward to doing business with you.
Hmm. However,
Mm,
indulge me a moment. And she steps over, she leans forward, like cups a hand to his ear, and
mhm.
she whispers a different name.
Hmm. Oh, secrets, secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do not repeat that. I'm only telling you because I want what I asked for.
Uh, my, how does he react? I think, oh boy, because hello. He is thrilled for one thing. Um, she can see I think he would want to be playing it off like, ah, yes, business as usual. No, he looks delighted by this in the way that, well, to use something from our gallery, um, someone who has reeled in the biggest catch they possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a businessman who has made a deal that is going to suit him very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
he's when he grins, those it's normally you're not gonna see his sharp teeth because he's
Mhm.
very good at being just a businessman, blending in. He's a little off here and there. He is a Triton.
Mhm.
You don't quite see as
Mhm.
much, but
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, she sees those fangs of his as he looks utterly delighted.
Mhm. And she doesn't back up right away.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, she doesn't say in like his immediate, face to
Mhm.
his ear, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She does back up at least a little
Mhm.
bit. And it's just like this is only for the deal.
Of course. Well, I'll be seeing you soon. Let me
Hmm.
return this, and we can meet back here in 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours it is. She, of
Uh,
course, is by to the little fish, and it's just like,
mhm.
well,
Yeah, and Seth does give some, not like a full bow, but definitely like that, like at your service kind of bow, as she
mm-hmm,
leaves,
mm-hmm.
and he is not just like walking out into the water. No, he's not going to do
No.
that. But he does wait until she leaves before he himself
Mm-hmm,
makes his exit.
mm-hmm,
Um, and he's still looking absolutely delighted with himself the entire way as he is starts mentally writing out this contract since well, it's not like he can just summon up a golden contract these days, but he
mm-hmm,
still has the knowledge of the wording and how he'll have a draft set and ready by the time that she gets back.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And with
Spica
that,
by
yeah. Mhm,
contrast, she's more like hunched forward, slight scowl. She's trying not to be obvious about it, but it's like this is at least someone who knows they've taken a hook.
mhm,
But they want what's on the hook to the point where they're willing to accept the hook, if that makes sense.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
'Cause she set about looking for this knowing there was gonna be a price,
mhm.
and she knows you have to pay for these things, and so it's just like, yeah, she wants to put it all in a box and throw it out the window.
Mhm.
And since she can't do that, you gotta get that elsewhere.
Yeah, and with that,
Mhm,
Spica is able to go out away from this bubble by the ocean, by the
mhm,
lagoon that had the soft sound of waves lapping at the sand,
mhm,
and out of the shelter of the shadow of this Leviathan's maw,
mhm,
sound seems to filter back. More the sound of birds flying about, of people going about their daily lives, very busy here and there, and music from somewhere that's going on, not background music, but probably street performers, people laughing, and the warmth of the tropical sun beating down upon her.
mm.
And she has 2.5 hours to herself to come to terms with what she has done.
Yep.
And with that, our camera is able to pan away.
Mhm.
I want to thank our dear audience for having been here to listen to us, both
Yay!
present and future. And I would like to thank
Mhm.
you, Blaze, for playing this game with me
Yeah.
that has been so very fun.
It was. Thank you too. This was such a delight.
Yay! All right.
Yay!
And now we shall bid our audience, both present and future, whatever time zone they might be in, a very
Mhm.
pleasant goodbye. Goodbye!
Bye.